Hi, my Gemini friends. Thank you for joining me for the astrology reading for November 2024 for Gemini. And it's going to be best if Gemini is your rising sign. It could be your sun sign as well. It can work for sun signs, but it's going to work a lot better if it's the rising sign. Um, so this month is going to be pretty powerful. It's going to start out very powerfully, and it may not feel great at first, but it could be, it could bring powerful transformation if we're willing to look at what needs to be transformed and what we need to let go of. So this month starts with a Scorpio new moon, and on the same day, we're going to have a Pluto Mars opposition. Pluto is the ruler of Scorpio, so that's how these two are pretty connected. These two aspects, and both Pluto and Scorpio are about transformation. But like I said, in order to transform, we have to let go of something. Now, what we need to be looking at letting go of is, for you, for Gemini rising, is around work, pets, our daily routines, and our health. So it can be a really difficult aspect, but it really is to help us to transform and let go of what is not working for us anymore, so that we can bring in something that is actually going to help us and be better for us. So it can't, there can be fights in this area of your life around work. There might be fights or arguments, and whenever you initiate something, whether you meant it as a negative thing or it was just taken that way, it can be blown out of proportion. So be very careful what you say. But on the same day as well, there's going to be an aspect with Mercury. It's going to trine Mars and sextile Pluto. So it's a couple of aspects, but it's going to be aspecting that Pluto-Mars opposition. And this is bringing in some positive energy around communication, and it can really, help us deal with this energy a little bit better um, through communication or through working with your hands in some way. Then on the same day, Jupiter is going to sextile Chiron, and that can help us heal wounds. And sextiles, we do have to initiate something or do something to bring that energy in. So it's important to, work on that energy, work on trying to, heal our wounds. And sometimes the best way to do that is to help other people with the same wounds. So whatever we struggle with the most in life, it's good to help other people that have these same issues. Then Mercury will go into Sagittarius on November 2nd, and Mercury's not really happy in Sagittarius, but it can help us to expand our mind when Mercury goes into Sagittarius. And we just have to be careful not to be stuck on our beliefs, because Sagittarius is about our beliefs, and we can get stuck there sometimes and think that our beliefs are fact and that we are the only ones that are right in our beliefs. And so it's important to, pay attention to where we might be stuck, and then it can help us to grow. Then Venus in Sagittarius will trine Chiron in Aries on November 5th. And then on the same day, Venus opposes Jupiter. And these are both really positive energies, because Venus and Jupiter are the two malefics benefics in astrology. They're the most benefic or beneficial planets in astrology. And the two of them together, even when they're in opposition, are gonna usually bring in really great energy. And on that day, we should feel really happy, and have a lot better energy, be hopeful. And Venus trining Chiron could really help us to heal our wounds and areas in our life that we're sensitive about, or um we feel unsure and things like that. And so this is happening in the area of relationships for you. So it should be really a joyful and loving time around relationships. And then Venus will square Neptune on November 9th. And so that could bring in a little fogginess, or areas where we don't really see everything that's going on. But it can also help us be more tolerant or empathetic in relationships. But it can, later on, we might realize that, you know, what we couldn't see could hurt us, in some ways. Then Venus goes into Capricorn on November 11th, and that can bring in, a really good energy around your career, around debt and investments, or it could bring, it could bring, help us deal with power struggles in our life, especially around the career, and, help bring an end to that. And then when Mercury squares Saturn on the 12th, it could, kind of block communication, or cause miscommunication, or just slow down communication. And especially, it could bring these kind of communication issues around relationships for Geminis. Then on the 14th, Venus will square the North Node in Aries, and Mars will trine the North Node. So the North Node is all about fated changes and our fated path in life. And so it can help put us on the right path, help us realize, where we need to go in our lifetime and what is going to be more beneficial to us, and maybe let go of things that aren't working for us anymore. And especially when it comes to like our financial status, or anyway, but it is likely to be a positive change. It might feel uncomfortable at first if we're heading towards our North Node, because it is unknown to us. And it's always a little scary when we're going into an area that we're not real familiar with. But it could really help us to grow too. The Taurus full moon on November 15th. It's, a Taurus full moon is usually grounding and stabilizing, but because it is conjunct to Uranus, it could be, it could bring in sudden changes and things we didn't expect. And it's kind of hard to tell exactly what that will be looking ahead. And until we look back at it, we won't really know. And then the sun will square Neptune on the 18th. And that's likely to bring a focus or shine a light on what's hidden in our lives, and especially when it's, has to do with our career or our public image. Then on the 18th, Mercury will trine Chiron, and that can help you heal wounds through communication. And you might be able to help other people through communication that have the same wounds as you do. Then on November 19th, Pluto goes back into Aquarius. Now, Pluto has been going back and forth between Capricorn and Aquarius. for a while, for quite a while. And it was in Capricorn for about 14 years. And it will be in Aquarius for 20 years. And so this is a pretty big change. It's a generational change. And we won't see Pluto in Capricorn again in our lifetime. So it's a pretty profound change, and it's something we've already gotten a little taste of earlier this year. It went into Aquarius for a few months. So we did get a taste of it already. So and then on November 19th, the sun will trine Mars. And that will shine a light on home and family or finances. For Geminis. And that can just like, maybe we'll see things that we weren't able to see before. On November 21st, the sun will sextile Pluto. And that could bring hidden things to light. And on the same day, Venus will sextile Saturn. Now, Saturn in a positive aspect with Venus can help stabilize things, and in this case, relationships, but we do have to do something to initiate that. It doesn't just come naturally. We might have to, take on some sort of burden to help that to happen. Then Mercury goes retrograde in Sagittarius on November 25th. It's started its pre-shadow on November 9th, which basically means on December 15th, when Mercury has completed its retrograde, it will be at the same place as it was on November 9th. So when it retrogrades, it will go back to where it was on December 9th. And then it will go back over these areas in between multiple times. And so we will have a chance of redoing or adjusting things that we have done before. And this is going to be around relationships. So we will have chances to fix things that didn't turn out the way we expected. That's pretty much all I have for November. You can visit my website at logicalastrology.com, where you can get free readings, and don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. But if you want to hear more, go to logicalastrology.com. You can get readings, weekly readings, monthly readings for free. And you can book a reading with me so that I can, look at your chart specifically and give you a more specific reading to you instead of this somewhat generalized reading for all Gemini rising people. Have a great month.